Chiefs traveling to Cleveland to take on Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns. Matchup that matters here, Carmen. What do we got?
Yeah, well, speaking of takeaways, the Chiefs defense ranks 28th in takeaways. They only have 10 on the season. And that just, there's so many deficiencies that I feel like of this Chiefs team that have been covered up just by the sheer fact they have Patrick Mahomes, they have Andy Reid, and they have this almost preordained something or other, cosmic something or other that's helping them win games in where field goals that hit the upright are doinking in rather than out. The Chiefs, I said, I've said this whole season, I'm never going to bet against them, especially when the postseason comes around. But this Chiefs defense just hasn't lived up to the billing in so many different ways where you're not getting the push up front outside of Chris Jones. There's like no one's really doing anything along that defensive line. You're not getting the takeaways that's giving your offense the extra chances. This should be a game where you have an opportunity to do that if we know anything about Jameis Winston, especially if you are able to garner some of that pressure that's been lacking up front and force Jameis into some errant situations or to kind of flush him out of the pocket, let him play that backyard football that he likes to play, and then make some bad decisions when he's on the run or scrambling to throw the ball down the field. You can take advantage of that. And this is absolutely should be one of those games where Kansas City should be able to up that takeaway total because 10 just isn't going to cut it this year.
So I'll go on the other side of things for my matchup that matters. Dalton Wasserman on our review show found a really great stat that I thought was fascinating. Okay. So when we think of the Kansas City Chiefs, we think of an explosive offense. We think of Andy Reid. We think of Patrick Mahomes. But often, we think of the Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce in his prime days where they're just bombing it deep down the field and it's just all sorts of explosives and 5,000-yard passing seasons and all that. Dalton found this. They have the fourth fewest 15-yard plays in the NFL this season. But on the other side of things, they're tied for the fourth most first downs. So even though they don't have the explosive plays that they used to, they're still getting into third down situations, but it's like the comfortable third down situations that normally you don't want to put yourself in, but the Chiefs are totally cool with it because they have the answers. They know how to convert on third down just about as good, if not better than every single team in the NFL. So they're not as explosive, but they're still converting so many first downs this season. So my matchup that matters is knowing, after Dalton pointed that out, knowing that the Kansas City Chiefs are in third down so much, maybe we don't think about it because the drives still go for so long. What is the Browns' third down defense? They're 19th right now in PFF overall defensive grade on third down, but they are 27th in EPA per play allowed. And of course, when you allow a conversion, whether it's a run or a pass on third down, that's going to negatively impact your EPA per play allowed because it's obviously getting the team a lot closer to their goal, a lot closer towards scoring a touchdown or a field goal. And so the Browns being as poor as they are right now with their third down defense gets me worried against a team that is converted on third down so well that most of us just haven't even really noticed how many times they are getting in third down. It just feels like, man, it's just another down for this team. It's not a do or die situation. They handle things so calmly. They understand what they have to do next. And so how the Browns fare on third down is going to mean a lot in this one because there just have not been many teams that have made the Chiefs uncomfortable. It's almost like when their back gets against the wall, they ramp it up. They get more focused. They get more ready to convert on those third down opportunities. So I think that is a big one. Who's your plus factor here in this game?
I have a really niche kind of hipster plus factor.
I love it.
But he's not niche or hipster to Bucs fans. Justin Watson. I discovered something about Justin Watson this season for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Justin Watson won the Super Bowl with Tampa. He won the last Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. He is kind of a very, very invisible part of this offense. But he leads the league in one very specific stat among qualified receivers, I should say. Contested target catch percentage.
Wow.
He has 80% of his contested targets he catches. for Patrick Mahomes. And I think we made a huge deal about the Chiefs getting DeAndre Hopkins and Patrick Mahomes finally having that guy that can go up and get contested catches. Little did we know, Trev, he already existed on the roster, and it was Justin Watson. And there are times, again, he doesn't have the volume. And again, this is a very niche kind of stat, but I just found this to be really funny and interesting. When it's crunch time, when you need one of those third downs and you have a prayer from Patrick Mahomes after he's scrambling around for 3, 4, 5 seconds in the backfield, every now and again, it's Justin Watson that comes up with those catches. And it's very interesting to see that he's fighting for that and that anytime you can throw him those contested targets because he's going to come down with them when you do. So I thought that was a really interesting, fun thing for Justin Watson, who never gets any play.
I like tie in there, especially because a little bit of my motivation for my plus factor also goes back to some Bucs days.
Oh.
My plus factor here is David Njoku. And you don't have to go all the way back to Jameis Winston's Bucs days to appreciate how much he likes to throw the ball to tight ends, because over the last 2 weeks, David Njoku has received 7 targets. He's caught 7 receptions and 9 receptions, respectively. And that's a pretty high clip for a tight end emphasis in this offense. If you do go all the way back to Jameis Winston's days when he was starting with the Buccaneers, Cam Brate, O.J. Howard, I mean, they love to emphasize the tight end position. I remember, man, Cam Brate was just Jameis's go-to player.
Yes.
Of course, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, those guys were heavily involved as well, but there were so many times where they would emphasize Cam Brate, even at the beginning of drives, on first down, not just in the red zone or on third downs or anything like that. And I feel as though he's gravitating towards David Njoku the same way he did with that tight end emphasis when Todd Monken was calling or when Todd Monken was the offensive coordinator down in Tampa Bay, and they really wanted to emphasize continuing to be a vertical passing attack with the tight end as a legitimate option. I think they have that in Cleveland. I think Jameis Winston sees that. And for as much as Jerry Jeudy gets a lot of the pub, I feel like this is a big David Njoku game. I think, something above, once again, above 6 receptions. I think he could be, anywhere from, yards is always sort of fickle, but like 70 to 100 yards. But more importantly, I think he's getting in the end zone this week. And I feel like we have seen that emphasis from him. And I think he's going to be a major X factor in this game because of how much Jameis has liked to throw the ball to the tight ends throughout his NFL career. And he's got a good one in Cleveland. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.